Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, Rishi Sunak today is calling in all the major food suppliers in this country to start shaking his fist at them and banging on the desk, twisting knobs, right, and stacking shelves to tell them all, you're ripping people off. Foodflation. Right? And the new term that I believe, right, that I first termed, right, which is greedflation. Greedflation is something that's stepping in with these people. And Rishi Sunak now, after all this time that these people have been allowed to just rip us the hell off, Rishi Sunak is going to tell them to rein it in. Really? I think it's a bit late because these people have been doing it. And how are you going to say to people, well, what you need to do is make less profits? When this country, right, has been run off of profits, off of companies, they've said all the time, you know what, go out there and make as much profits as you want off the people of this country. Do as you want to them. And now, where, yes, food costs are completely out of control. Just completely out of control. When you're speaking to, like, because I speak to a lot of the traders and that. Do you know what I mean? And like you ask them, like, of stuff what's gone up, and when they tell you, right, it's just eye watering. So, at what part of the train do you hit to make food costs go down? Because it goes right across the board, right? They need ingredients to produce whatever they produce. So the people who are supplying them, their bills have gone up, so they have to charge them more money, right? And then these people, then the next people along in their chain, they have to charge them more money. And everyone along the way has to up their prices until it gets to, obviously, to the consumer. At which point, what part of the chain do you start at to say, well, these people can have cheaper energy costs to produce what they're producing, but these people can't. So the chain, so what part of the chain do you start from? Rishi Sunak, where does he start? He starts at the farms, because the farms also have to buy. They have to buy. They have to buy things like feed for their for their animals. Which obviously the price of those things would have gone up. Because the price of everything is going up. The price, because it's costing the people a lot more to produce these things. So at what point, so today, I just think that today's meeting is just kind of pointless, because the place where he should be attacking this from is obviously at the energy companies. That's where he really needs to attack it from. But it doesn't matter anyway, because once these prices are set where they are, they're never going back down. We're never going to see things go back down. I mean, even in the pound shops, the pound shops things have gone up, like, anything from 25%, right, to 100%, and 110%, 150% on some items. It depends on what you're looking at. But anything from there, I don't even see how they're even pound shops anymore, because they've only got a few items in there that are a pound now, right? So I don't even see how that's even working. So I just think that Rishi Sunak is just completely hitting this completely from the wrong place. Energy and housing is where he needs to hit this shit from first if he wants to bring prices down on anything. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages. And a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. And I don't know if you saw this like weird Tory conference what they had yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Or, conservative nationalism or something like that. They was calling it. Do you know what I mean? It's like holy bullshit was just being spoken there. I mean, some of the people that was there is just really, really weird. I mean, you had some guy, he was banging on about morals within a marriage, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, does he know Boris Johnson? because this guy's banging on about, how moral people should, and the thing to himself, I bet he's probably one of those people who wants Boris brought back. But seriously, it's just weird. It's really, really weird. I mean, you had Corella the Braveman saying that white people should not feel collectively guilty for slavery. So do you? Do white people, do you feel guilty for slavery? I'll tell you what, yeah? I will hold you guilty for slavery if you was there. I'm going to wait for your answer. Was you there? I'll ask again. Was you there? How fucking stupid. This is all part of this, this great replacement theory. Do you know what I mean? Which is just a load of fucking absolute nonsense. It's just garbage. DC, you had all these guys in the khaki trousers and, do you know what I mean, and their polo shirts or whatever they are, and with shields. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Save America, and you think to yourself, what the fuck is up with these people? Have these people really not got anything better to do, right? Rather than going to fucking march and just shouting out racial slurs all over the place. Just absolute foolishness, do you know what I mean? And then obviously that's coming over here because we've got the real culture wars that Corella the Braveman's pushing. And I mean, if you hear some of the stuff what's coming out of this woman's mouth, yeah, you have to like, and then you've got white people, right, heckling, right, an Asian woman that she's a fascist. I'm telling you, right? I don't know how this world has got to how it's got to, but you see, with the Tories really needed, people like this, Kemi Badenoch, and Priti Patel and Corella the Braverman. They needed all these type of people so that they can get them, because all of this type of stuff, yeah, believe me, right, white politicians have wanted to say for the longest of time, but they probably can't believe their luck. They probably just can't believe their luck. Do you know what I mean? Corella the Braverman, I think she thinks, when she looks in the mirror, I think she sees a white woman. Honestly, that's what I think. I think she sees a white lady looking back at her. Because seriously, just like, she's one fucking crazy, But I'll tell you exactly how crazy she is, because she thinks, right, that we need to train our own people to do jobs in this country, right? And those jobs include picking fruit. We need to train people because we have a high wage, right, highly skilled economy. So we need to teach people to pick fruit. Listen, there's enough, believe me, right, there's enough English people right now, or British people training to be HGV drivers. There's loads of them out there doing it, do you know what I mean? So, this is what these people are telling us. One minute they're saying, like, education. I know it was Tony Blair, but, let's just stay with it, right? But education. Every single child must go to university, right? And now it's like, yes. And then when they come out of university, we want them to go and pick fruit. Or work in fucking slaughterhouses, or work in like meat packing factories and all this type of thing, right? Because you see, although our immigration numbers next year, right, are due to hit, right, 1,100,000, even though they said after Brexit, before Brexit, I think it was like the maximum it went to like 300,000, and in that time it's trebled. Which, had I had known, I would have voted for Brexit. Had I had known that was going to happen. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I enjoy having our European brothers and sisters over here. But you know something, yeah? Had I had known that we was going to get 1 million more immigrants come to this country, that would have been worth voting for Brexit for. But yeah, so that's what we're going to. Those are the numbers that are coming. But those numbers are really needed. But the unfortunate thing is, right, none of those people are coming over to do the jobs that the people over here don't want to do. Those people are coming over to be the boss. That's what they're coming over. They're not, because those are all highly educated people, right? That within that million, because most of they're students, and then you're talking about high earners, because you have to be earning a certain amount. You can't come over here from Europe and do a minimum wage job, right? those minimum wage jobs. You voted for Brexit, right? So you could be the only people who can do the low-skilled jobs in in the high-wage economy, highly skilled economy. Only people who can do the low-skilled jobs are the Brits or the English. Only us. No one else can come over here and say, oh, well, I'm going to go in the field and go and pick some carrots or some strawberries or some raspberries, blackberries, whatever kind of berry they're picking. But no, they can't come over here no more and do that. And now, Corella the Brave Man saying, you know something, what we're going to do is we're going to train up our own. Train up our own. And I just think it's a massive joke. And at the same conference, Jacob Rees-Mogg has admitted to gerrymandering, but only because it's backfired on their ass. Because you see, the thing is, right, where they've insisted that people take photo ID to vote, right? So now a lot of older people didn't actually vote. People who they believe are going to vote for them. Obviously, they've been accusing Keir Starmer of gerrymandering because Keir Starmer wants 16-year-olds to vote and EU citizens to be able to vote. And but I mean, it's what do they say? No taxation, or no representation, no taxation, something like that. Anyway, I can't remember how that's how it goes, something like that, right? But no taxation without representation, right? But yeah, so they're accusing Keir Starmer of trying to gerrymander by saying, you know what, they're thinking of, getting people who are settled over here. I mean, they can already vote in the local elections as well. So so it's not really that big a deal. But the Tories definitely was gerrymandering the other day, and they, with their gerrymandering, right, they have blocked a load of their own voters from not being able to vote. Because if you're old people, when they go down there and they didn't take their ID, and now they probably think, they get back home and think, you know what, I can't bother going back down there, Marge. Do you know what I mean? And they're just like, well, Fred, I'll just make a cup of tea, yeah? And that's that. Do you know what I mean? So they're not going to go, right? So a lot of people didn't vote. And Jacob Rees-Mogg was just up there on stage just admitting. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing with the right wing, yeah? These people just are prepared to just admit to criminal offence. Because, gerrymandering is a criminal offence. You are not allowed to interfere with votes. Right? You're not allowed to interfere. But, these people, they often can just get away with what they want to get away with, can't they? So that's the thing. And look, I want to speak about, I don't know if you see Pennine Rail, the Pennine Rail company. Obviously, they've had to hand their franchise back. There's another privatisation that has gone really badly wrong, but the Tories at the moment they're looking around to see if they could give it straight away to another private company. But they've gone bankrupt. And, one of the reasons why they said they went bankrupt, right, was because the workers refused to do unpaid overtime. These people, seriously. Talk about saying the quiet part out loud. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what? Keep that to yourself, motherfucker. And then the police are hunting for an arsonist in Dorset, someone who's going around and setting light to cars in Dorset. And because they set light to a good few cars. But I mean, you say, well, but when you think of Dorset, right, you just think of like, an old fella, right, with like a pork pie hat on, just sat on a fence, chewing on like a twig of hay, while munching on a carrot raw. A bit misogynistic and bigoted. That's what you think when you think of, not thugs going around, right, setting fires to cars. But when you know about the rest of the country, I mean, you look at this country, yeah, how much of those bikes or those scooters have been chucked into the Thames or in rivers all over the country. In other countries, yeah, that doesn't happen. You walk past a bus stop in this country and certainly for sure, definitely for sure, right, there's no glass in there. And when you look and think, oh my God, there's glass in there. And they think, oh no, it's plastic. And someone's taken the time out of their day, right, to stand there with a cigarette and burn it. Seriously, that's what this country's always been like. And let's speak about some Brexit, because I don't know if you know, if I haven't told you yet, but Nigel Farage thinks that Brexit is a complete disaster. But it's not just. I mean, I think, right, that a lot of people with Brexit, a lot of people was trying to get at David Cameron, because I thought David Cameron was an absolute tool. And considering David Cameron wrote his book in his shed, right, and the only place for David Cameron is with the tools. So it was right for him to write his book in his shed. But his shed is nicer than a lot of like working class people's houses, though. But, you know, and then you've got people like, you know, David Davis, who's like, you know, the German car companies will never let the EU give us a bad deal, like it's got anything to do with them. And, you know, Digby Jones, you know, all these type of people, right, was like, you know, so... And then you had people that was paying out, you know, millions of pounds into like Brexit, and £350 million on a bus and all these things. No wonder Nigel Farage, you know, but Nigel Farage is one person who cannot step anywhere away, right, from any of this, right? Nigel Farage, you know, but I'll tell you this, right? Nigel Farage, right? You say, you know what? Nigel Farage isn't to blame. The people who are to blame are the people who voted for Brexit. Those are the people to blame, because you can't tell me, right, that at any stage in your life you thought to yourself, you know what, actually, right, all those things that they're saying about it, right, must be true. You must have known that none of it can be true, because it all sounded like fantasy. I mean, we were saying stuff like, listen, you know, there's no unicorns, there's no sunny uplands. We were saying all this type of stuff, and people were saying that we don't care. And I think, yeah, that I think to apportion blame to one thing is just like, it's completely ridiculous, because there was people who would regularly say, well, I don't care, right, if my children are poorer. I don't care if I'm taking away the opportunities of my children. I just want Brexit. My friends, this is my second video of the day, and another one that I've gone over on, because for some reason I've just got far too much to say for myself. But I have to bow out of here. This, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.